Hello and welcome to our latest unboxing video. I'm Eliza here at the Hatfield Public Library, and I have what I think is a book entirely of nonfiction, starting with one that has definitely piqued my interest. This is called My Beloved Monster, and yes, that's a cat. It's the subtitle is Masha, the half-wild rescue cat who rescued me by Caleb Carr. I feel like we get a lot of dog, the Tales of My Dog books, but not as many Tales of My Cat. And I love that the title is My Beloved Monster because it's just so perfect. So this is the story of Masha, a half-wild rescue cat who fought off a bear, tackled Caleb like a linebacker, and bonded with him as tightly as any cat and human possibly can. So yeah, this has been really popular. A lot of people are wanting it. And again, I just I love the title. I love the cover. I think it sounds really intriguing. An Unfinished Love Story by Doris Kearns Goodwin, personal history of the 1960s. So Doris Kearns Goodwin won the Pulitzer Prize. She's very known for her biographies of famous people, including Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt. She wrote Team of Rivals. She wrote about Theodore Roosevelt. And this one is actually about she says she weaves together biography, memoir, and history. She takes you on an emotional journey about her and her husband in the last years of her husband's life. So it's both, I think, personal about the 1960s, what was happening to her, and also maybe I assume some of the politics that's going on. I kind of missed the boat on this one. I don't know why. I usually look at everything pre-publication and order them, and I didn't hear about this one. And then I saw it in the library catalog. It had so many holds, and I was like, "Oh no, I've got to get this really fast." So definitely people wanting to read that. We have Once Upon a Time: The Captivating Life of Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and this is by Elizabeth Beller. I think a lot of people, at least who were alive at the time, I remember when she was killed with her sister and her husband in a plane crash. I think it's maybe the first book about her life, but definitely a very sad story, and it sounds like an interesting woman. Ooh. Another one people are really excited about. This is called In My Time of Dying, Sebastian Junger. And the subtitle is How I Came Face to Face with the Idea of an Afterlife. This is wild because Sebastian Junger wrote a bunch of other books. He's been really popular. I've actually read a couple of them. The Perfect Storm is probably the most famous, really good. A Death in Belmont I read. And then there's a bunch of others. So he's nonfiction, very readable nonfiction writer. And he, in 2020, he was in New England with his wife and two young children. And I guess something happened. He almost died and he had a near-death experience. And then later found out that he had a ruptured aneurysm that he shouldn't have survived. And so so he's a confirmed atheist. His father was a physicist. And so this is a lot about like what happened and some of his sort of emotional and philosophical ideas about it. Sounds really interesting. Also pretty short. So I would be, again, just knowing how readable he is as an author, I would definitely take a look at that. Another one, I'm getting all the ones that everybody wants. The Light Eaters by Zoe Schlanger. It's called How the Unseen World of Plant Intelligence Offers a New Understanding of Life on Earth. So this is a book about plants. It's kind of amazing because it doesn't sound to me like maybe the book that's going to fly off the shelves, but it's a bestseller now. A ton of people are wanting to read it. And it's just basically about plant intelligence and how there's so much, I guess, so much more going on than we even realize. We have The Backyard Bird Chronicles by Amy Tan. Is this the Amy Tan? And it says forward by David Allen Sipley. So we've got a power team here. Yes, the author of the Joy Luck Club, that Amy Tan. And she maps the passage of time through daily entries, thoughtful questions, and beautiful original sketches of, I guess, all the birds in her house. So I think anybody who's interested in birds, or maybe anybody who just really likes Amy Tan, which a lot of people do. We have Traveling, the On the Path of Joni Mitchell by Ann Powers. Uh, says it's not a standard account of the life and work of Joni Mitchell. Instead, it's a tale of journeying through a life that changed popular music, um, and about a homesick wanderer forging on new routes. So it's about all the musicians she inspired. It says the author seeks to understand Mitchell through her myriad journeys. Um, huh. So interesting. I feel like I read I don't want to say anything that's not true, obviously, but I feel like I read a review of this that said it was like a little more of like some, I think some biographies can sort of be like all the amazing things that a person have done in his life. And I think this is more like a hard look at like the good and, some of the harder stuff that she's been through and some of the decisions she made. But honestly, I think that will appeal to people more. I mean, we all understand, we all have multiple sides. So this book was recommended by a patron. It's called What Fresh Hell Is This? Perimenopause, Menopause, and Other Indignities and You by Heather Corinna. Again, more and more awareness coming to menopause and perimenopause. I think we just got a book called The New Menopause, which is getting a lot of press. So this is another addition to that collection. We have The Situation Room, The Inside Story of Presidents in Crisis by George Stephanopoulos with Lisa Dickey. And so George Stephanopoulos was advisor to President Clinton, host of This Week and the co-anchor of Morning America. And so this is just his dramatic accounts of 12 crises in the Situation Room. So minute by minute transcripts from when Presidents Kennedy and Reagan were shot. Henry Kissinger raising the military alert level to DEFCON 3, while President Richard Nixon was drunk in the White House residence. President Carter asking for help from secret government psychics to rescue American hostages in Iran. Wow, so just a lot of very intense stories. So he must have done research. These aren't all things he was there for, but yeah. Magic Pill by Johann Hari. This is the extraordinary benefits and disturbing risks of the new weight loss drugs. So Johann Hari, after a long time of struggling with his weight, started Ozempic, and this is about sort of how that went for him and also some of his emotional feelings about like still wanting to be able to like regulate his own health, but also feeling, I guess, like the Ozempic was helping him. I mean, it sounds like an interesting and like very frank story and very recent. This is all just stuff from like the last year. Challenger, a true story of heroism and disaster on the edge of space by Adam Higginbotham. So I think the anniversary of the Challenger is coming up. Yeah. Oh, I guess in 2 years. I don't know why I thought the anniversary was coming up, but I mean, I guess 2 years isn't that far. So it originally happened January 28th, 1986. All 7 people were killed. So So this is just about like a lot, a lot of details about everything that happened. But I think this will resonate with people. I feel like this is one of my first earliest memories is when this happened. Photos, good energy, the surprising connection between metabolism and limited health by Casey Means, MD. How to feel incredible, avoid disease, and age well. I mean, that sounds good. That sounds like a good deal. A bold new vision. Um, it's all about, so according to Dr. Casey Means, it's all about metabolic function. And we need our cells to be optimally powered so that they can create good energy, the essential fuel that impacts every aspect of our physical and mental well being. I mean, that sounds a little vague, but I assume that she explains it more in her book. So that was my whole box. All nonfiction, and I'll be back soon with more.